What's going on, YouTube? Okay, we got a new drone here. Picked this up not too long ago. It's by Sharper Image. It is the Xtreme Airwave drone. They actually call it a high performance remote control drone. But yeah, let's open this up. I haven't opened this up yet. I got it and just kind of put it away. So here is the front of the box. Okay. It's a nice looking little box. And here's the drone. Now, I am only gonna put this in the category of micro drone because of its size, but let me show you something compared to its size. I'm gonna grab another micro drone. Okay, here's a micro, and I'm gonna put it up against the Sharper Image model. And as you can see, the Sharper Image one is a lot bigger. So again, it is, I believe, in the category of micro drone, but it's just a little bigger. So there's the remote. So on the left side of the box here, it says flip, roll, spin, and orbit. 2 speeds, beginner and expert. LED lights for day or night. And the last one there says self-leveling barometer. Okay, easy to fly. There's the drone in action, flying with the LEDs on. Looks pretty cool. Okay, here's this side of the box. Auto takeoff and landing, pretty cool. Here's the back. Aerial stunts, front flip, back flip, barrel roll, spin, and orbit. And the same as the front here, just a bit of information. Okay, like I said, it's a nice looking box. And here's this other side of the box. Durable construction. Easy 3-point landing. Okay, so here's the bottom of the box. And what you get is the drone, the remote, 4 replacement rotor blades, USB charger, and the battery for the drone. The battery seems to be a 1-cell battery, 3.7 volt, 200 milliamp, so that's pretty small. We'll see how long this flies for. So like I said, I haven't opened this yet, so we're gonna do that together here. I'm gonna set you guys down. I got my blade, and I'm only going to use it to help me open this box. I got no nails, so it's pretty hard to get to things. There we go. Okay, so that does not slide out very easy. There we go. I think that did the trick. Okay. We're gonna put this box to the side here. And so here's some instructions. And like I say in all my RC aircraft videos, definitely read this before you take flight. And here's a do not return to store in case you're missing something. Call the number. So we'll put those aside for right now, and we'll see what's in this packaging here. So it seems like there's some stuff in this bottom part of the box. We're gonna open this up. Nice. Well, that kind of falls open pretty nicely. Okay. So ran into a little baggie, and like they mentioned, you got 4 replacement blades here, and a charging wire. So it's USB-A to your USB-C. That's a nice little cable. And here are the rotors or blades, whatever you want to call them. They're see-through, so this one's orange and the other ones are clear. So that's very nice. We're going to put this aside. We're going to take out the remote next. And I thought the remote was, you know, like the body was this tall, but it's actually taller. It's a pretty decent sized remote. There's the other half. So if you got like a bigger hand, it's gonna fit in your hand a little better. So I'm gonna cut this right here. Here we go. Very nice. Okay, so like I said, this thing is a pretty decent size. Fits in the hand just right. It's a decent weight. The sticks don't feel that cheap. Feels pretty good. Same with these top triggers. The whole thing feels okay. It doesn't feel that cheap. Okay, so here's the back of the remote, and I see this like little, I don't know, button. We've got some wording here. It says push button and pull down to access batteries. Okay, so that's what that is. It's a little release button or something. So let me see if I can push it with my knife. Here we go. Okay, so that's the battery compartment. 3 AAAs. And let me get some AAAs and I'll be right back. Thank you, Amazon. So here we go. And I do believe this remote will have some lighting and a beep coming out of it, or some noise coming out of it. So the batteries are in. Let's turn this on to see if it has any noise or it has any lighting. So there is some lighting around this like loop part of the remote, but I don't hear any kind of sound coming out of the remote. I do wish it had some kind of beep. Hopefully it does, especially when you go to use a function. So that's the remote. It's a decent sized remote. Yeah, let's move on. Let's take a look at the drone. Okay, so this is really holding on, and only because it's got these like plastic little tags holding it down. Cut through those, and there we go. She is out. And here it is, guys. Cool little drone. I love these guys, especially for indoors. See if there's any lighting. Okay, nice. Oh yeah, very nice. There's 4 lights, 2 red ones there, 1 red one in the front, and a white one in the back. I like how they stuck the different one in the back, just so you know which way it's facing when you're flying it. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so we're gonna turn this off, and we're gonna start charging this guy. Okay, so I'm gonna plug it into my charging station here. And I want to see if there's any kind of light that turns on when I plug it in and start charging this. So here we go. Okay, so the back light turns on, and I'm guessing that light will turn off when it's done charging. So we'll set this down. What I'm going to do next is look at the instruction manual. Alright, so I'm looking through the manual here, and I will say the manual isn't that big, but the information that's in there is very clear. and easy to understand. There's pictures, so it helps to understand what they're saying. And both sides have something. So I would definitely look at this before you start flying it. I did have a couple things I wanted to point out, and one of them was battery charging. Okay, so what they're saying, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it takes 50 minutes for the battery to charge, okay? And flight time is approximately 5 minutes. So it's not exactly a long time up in the air, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's more than 5 minutes. And yeah, but all its maneuvers or tricks are going to be a single button used on top of the remote, and then the right joystick here being used in the direction that you want it to do the stunt. So for example, if you want it to do a turn stunt, what you got to do is just press the button, and it's pictured here. Use the right stick to perform the stunt that you want it to perform in the direction that you want it to perform in. Moving the right stick up, they call that a corkscrew left, and moving it down, you know, it's the opposite direction, corkscrew right. If you go left with the right stick, it's called a left twist 360. Here's another example. If you want to do a maneuver stunt, you click on the button, and then you choose a direction that you want the maneuver to be in. So if you want to do a forward maneuver, they call it the leapfrog. So if you move that right stick downwards, they call that the fadeaway. All right. To the left, they call it the banked loop left, and the opposite for the right direction. So I thought that was a good bit of information you guys should know. Another piece of information that I wanted to show you guys is propeller replacement. This clearly tells you how to do it. You just got to pull on the rotor or blade straight up and off. You should be able to pull that off the drone. It does say that an adult should do that versus a child, just to prevent any kind of damage. So that's nice that they made that clear for you. So there's two more things I did want to point out, and that is this drone is the type of drone that you have to pair. So what they want you to do is start up the remote, then start up the drone, go up and down with the left stick, and that should pair the remote to the drone. So you have to do that every time you fly, or every time that you start up the drone for flight. And the last thing I did want to point out is if you're having issues with the drone being stable in the air, you can reset the gyro. And what they want you to do to reset the gyro on the drone is pointing both sticks down and out, like so, like this picture right here. So you see both sticks there, down and out, and that should reset the gyro. They also point out that if that doesn't work for you, to just restart the remote and drone and pair it up again. So good helpful little hint for you guys there too. But the drone is still charging, as you see here. We'll let that charge, and I'll be back to show you guys how it flies. Okay guys, so we're in the bigger part of the basement, and we're gonna get this going. So again, we're gonna do this kind of fast. We only have about 5 minutes of flight time, so we got to do our best to get everything in within those 5 minutes. So I got a stopwatch going. So let's start up the remote, and then the drone. We're gonna set this down on the ground, and I'm gonna take off manually first, but we gotta pair the remote to the drone. So you got to go up and down with the left stick, up, down, and that is paired. And we're going to take off manually. So I should be able to just go up with the stick. And as you see there, it did great. Okay, so by default, it is in a slow mode right now, or beginner. And it is pretty slow, as you guys can see there, but it's very stable. Let me hit that stopwatch. So yeah, it feels very easy to fly. Okay, so it does need a little bit of trim. And these two buttons down here on the stick are the trim buttons. And they got arrows in the direction that you want the trim in. So I noticed that it's going forward. I'm going to add some back trim. So it's this one here. Okay, that worked perfectly. Okay. So as you see there, this thing is doing great. Hovering by itself. A little bit of right trim. So it's doing great. I'm going to land to see how it lands. Okay, did great. I'm going to use the auto takeoff. Let's do that. Oh, that worked out great. Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to use the auto land. Oh, that worked out perfect. Okay, good. I'm going to take off manually. Great. Oh yeah, this thing is smooth. I'm going to turn up the speed. You heard 2 beeps. I'm in the expert mode. And it is definitely faster, as you can see. Not exactly the fastest micro drone, but it's I believe it's a pretty good speed for an indoor flyer. Yeah, this is nice. So my next step is to perform a stunt, and I'm going to use the turn button. Okay, good. You saw a turn there. Okay, the opposite turn right there. I'm going to do one more stunt in the turn mode. Okay, so then I'm going to do the maneuver stunts. I'm going to hit the maneuver button. I'm going to drop it down to give it a little more of a chance here. Okay, I'm not sure what that's called, but it did something. Okay, so it's doing some kind of little dance, going backwards. That was pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna do a side. There we go. Oh wow, it just missed everything. But as you saw there, I used another maneuver button. I hit the right joystick to the right. I'm gonna try to do it again, but to the left. So maneuver button and then to the left. Okay, yeah, that worked perfectly. I'm gonna use the flip button this time to perform another stunt. So here we go. I'm gonna hit that flip button and go back. Try this again. Oh. Okay, so I think the battery is dead. Okay, so I think the battery is pretty low. It's starting to blink. And the remote is beeping. Okay, and I see a 4-minute mark on my phone. So we're gonna see what happens here. I'm gonna keep pushing it. I'm gonna see how long I keep it in the air. But yeah, this thing's pretty fun. It's stable. But that didn't last very long. But as you see, this thing flies pretty good. Oh yeah, it's I think it's getting pretty low. It's not climbing as fast. Come on. There we go. Come on. Yeah, it's having a hard time climbing now. It wants to drop on its own. Yeah. So it gets to a point where it just lands itself. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna charge this, show you guys how long it takes to charge. And then I'm gonna take it back in the air and try to show you guys that last option I wasn't able to show you guys, and that's the flip button right here. I wasn't able to show you guys what that button did. So let's charge this thing up, and I'm gonna try to show you guys what that does, and we'll close the video up after that. Alright, so we're back, and you guys saw how long that took to charge. It was about 42 minutes, so it's under the 50 minutes they mentioned. And I was able to get 1.7 watts into this when I was charging it, so we'll be tracking that more and more the more of these drone videos I do. But yeah, 1.7 watts is what we got into this as far as charging. But yeah, let's keep going here. As I mentioned, I was going to use the flip button option. So again, we only have 5 minutes of flight time. So what I'm going to try to do is just do the flip option right away and fly this until it dies. And again, I'm going to use a stopwatch to see how long it's up in the air. But this time I'm not going to try to talk. I'm just going to try to show you guys an uncut flight video. So here we go, guys. Let's get started. So again, you start up the remote. You'll see that the remote light is on. It'll slowly start to blink. Turn on the drone. Okay, then you got to pair it. So you got to go up and down with the left stick. That's paired. Auto orientation. Auto orientation. Okay, we got some blinking lights. We're gonna look at my phone to see how much time we got on there. 3:57. So about the same time as before. And you guys saw the whole flight time. Not exactly a long flight. I was able to do some flips, fly around a little bit. But again, I'm gonna push this until it lands itself. But it is a very stable flyer, easy to fly. I feel like most can just pick this up and fly this. Okay. So there we go, guys. So about 5 minutes, we got to see the Sharper Image Xtreme Airwave in flight and perform some stunts. It does everything it says it does. But the one thing that didn't work correctly for me was this auto orientation. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but when I used it, the right stick here, for whatever reason, switched around. So instead of making a left, it would go forward, and if I made a right, it would go backwards. And when I went up and down, it would make a left and a right. So maybe you guys don't have that issue, but for me, that didn't work correctly. But everything else, as far as flips and it flying, it did great. So for that reason alone, I feel like I'm gonna have to say that I do recommend this. But I will say this, it's only 4 minutes of flight. So if you're trying to learn how to fly something new and you're new to the hobby, 4 minutes of flight isn't going to give you a lot of experience every time you go up. So there you guys go. I do recommend it. 4 minutes of flight time, just over 42 minutes to charge it, at least my experience. And again, auto orientation didn't work correctly for me, just know that. But all of these stunts work perfectly. Auto land and auto takeoff works perfectly, and it is easy to fly. In the manual, it mentions ages 8+. I believe, yeah, you can have an 8-year-old fly this around. But again, 4 minutes of flight time, not a lot of flight time. So there you guys go. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.